No bombs allowed.
Easy to forget that life's a game, but shit, I did it too. No, we all to blame, but it's never been the same since I learned the rules. Since I got the tools and I dropped the fools. I saw the snakes and fakes and the hate that they make, the pain that they take. I just pray they awake. We may play the same game, but we do by different rules. Got a few I choose to follow, but my motto is the truth. Through the movement, commandments, solutions to the madness. My motive is decoding life's laws like mathematics. Found the blueprint schematic, showed me flow is automatic. Spit romantic semantics and then get back at it. Gotta have it. That's the first thing I found out. Why drop the clowns out and
Хотят ли русские войны?
Хотят ли русские войны?
Спросите вы.
Хотят ли?
тишины. Над
Кто
шеей
знает?
башен и
Кто
полей.
знает?
И у
Нихуя не
берез,
знаю.
и тополей. Спросите вы у тех солдат.
Too much dead space.
What's up, Ty? How you
What's
feeling?
up? I'm
Oh
good.
yeah, I forgot we were not including you in the Russian talks. Did you not get that?
I mean, that's why I was
thought
kind of staying
Little
quiet.
Steve might need
I was
time.
staying quiet, and then you guys just stopped talking, so I had to jump in,
Fuck
save
yeah.
our asses.
Хотят ли русские войны? That's what you're supposed to say. That's the topic.
Свою страну.
No?
That means nothing.
What's wrong with this fucking guy?
He's catching up.
He is catching it. Your fluency is approaching.
Bonjour, no.
See? He's got it all.
Спросите тех, кто воевал.
But you have to ask yourself, do Russians want war?
Yeah, do that. Хотят ли русские войны? Хотят ли русские войны? Do Russians want war?
And if you know a shred of Russian history and the losses that have occurred during World War II and the sacrifices that Russia has literally made, it primarily, most of the population is now women. Has been after World War II. This is the song that came out after the war,
Yeah.
and you think to yourself, does a country like that want more war? They're in the state of rebuilding.
That is the question. Like, do they want war?
They've barely rebuilt from the Second World War, and
I think they just did. I recently got the memo from the Russian government that they officially have finished rebuilding. Like yesterday, actually, 2022.
yeah, right.
Oh shit, we're back, motherfuckers. No bombs allowed. Yo, what's happening? We are hanging in the studio. It is me, your host, Avery Brower. We got Tyler Mack, as usual. And Leo Rarov, our guest, as usual.
Hello, everybody.
And we're talking for a second about the idea of do Russians want war?
Yes, it's really nice to be back in the studio.
Well, Leo, we're not welcoming you yet. We're doing a quick idea of this. Oh, I guess. I mean, you're always here, so it doesn't really even matter.
Break my balls.
Yeah, exactly. But
Right from the
today
beginning.
we're talking about, I mean, no big deal. Like, we're not going to focus on Leo too much because he's here. That's usual. Today's episode is on do Russians want war? We started with a little, how would you call that, Leo? Like, what era would that be? Like 60s? I can't remember. When would that song have been made?
I think it was 48, maybe 50s.
Oh, damn.
Right,
Okay, so right after. the war.
right after, yes.
Gotcha. Reflecting on do Russians want war? And today we got Leo in the studio, and we're going to be talking about that exact question.
That seems to be the hype these days. That's, oh, look at Russia. They're taking their lands back. That they want to conquer the world.
The Russian Empire is a warmonger.
They're the aggressor, and as long as it fits American political agenda and it fits European, Eastern European agenda. So sure, why not?
Yeah, and that's certainly the narrative we're getting right now.
In the meantime, Russia's forming alliances that are based on doing business. They're about as capitalist as they have ever been. They have great alliances with China, Belarus, and they
Not
are
bad with the U.S., all things considered, in the Trump presidency.
Say what?
The relationship between Russia and the U.S. in the previous presidency wasn't half bad.
No, not at all. And it hasn't been for years. Even though United States is pushing their agenda, United States is doing quite a bit of business with Russia as well.
Yeah.
And so is much of Europe. The recent panic has been, we have this conflict in Ukraine, and things are kind of getting heated with Russia, and it's a cold winter this year, and Russia is supplying Europe with much of the natural gas so that people can heat their homes, and Germany.
But does that mean they get to fucking take a country over? Let's put it on hold right there. So that's what we're talking about today, Leo. Jesus, man. We're not doing the whole episode already. We got an intro, man.
Okay.
I guess fine. Finish your thought.
No. I'm gonna cut it here because you're right. I have a lot to say, and
I can tell. Yeah.
We will jump into
Foam
it.
and biting at the bit.
In due time. This is all coming.
Oh my God. Well, that's why we got you here, Leo, because that you are very passionate about it, and now is the exact time we gotta fucking sit down and really talk about what's going on here, because the three of us haven't really talked about the situation that's been developing for the past couple of weeks.
I think it will make for an interesting episode.
Definitely.
We'll see what the listeners think.
Yeah. Well, anyways, taking a step back, we just want to take a second, check out where the show's at. We're hanging in the new studio, my dining room studio, my new apartment.
Back on the lake, yo.
Yeah, dude, back on the lake, different shore, different shore, same lake. That's what we say around here. Different shore, same lake. Yeah, we're getting deeper into season 2, or are we? This is season 1 of the episode. Of course it is. Leo's here. Why would it be any different? We're just picking up where we left off. Wanted to see Leo. What have you been up to recently? Like, just touching base. Usually I ask Tyler what the fuck he's been up to. He's like, nothing. I'm like, shh.
My life is
real
shit,
you motherfucker. Fuck you.
Mostly, as I've mentioned, it's been a cold winter, and I've been grinding, kind of staying indoors. I've been doing a lot of random research on whatever. Just mostly, taking it easy.
Average stuff,
Yeah.
Well, aren't you? You're looking at, kind of getting more involved at work, like maybe looking at some sort of promotion, but that's everyday stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm reached that stage in my life where I'm thinking about committing to a career, to something more serious. So
Yeah.
definitely, a lot of things have changed for me.
Yep. And we've been hanging, doing saunas, shit like that, doing a thing.
Going to the gym, doing saunas, eating well.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good for you, man. I lasted about 2 months last year at the gym, and then I kind of just fucked off.
That'll happen. That was new with Utah.
Snozberries taste like snozberries.
I forgot it. Yeah, I guess they do.
Uh,
I've heard
Oh,
that.
damn.
Yeah,
Tyler's so awkward about talking about his personal life. He's like, I don't do anything. Nothing.
I watch movies.
I watch movies. Hang with my roommates.
Yeah. Well, roommate.
Roommate, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's new. Living with Joe the intern, who's
Yeah.
conspicuously not here as usual.
Bitch problems as
Bitch
usual.
problems. That's what happens.
That's
Where's Joe at? No one knows. No one cares. We know he's having bitch problems right now, like at this very moment. Right now, he is having his girl telling him that he's ain't shit. At this very moment. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. I'd make a bed.
No.
No, jokes. He's a good guy. Credibility is pretty weak on the show. What? Who said that?
What?
I'm kidding. He knows I love him.
He just got to get on.
Yeah.
And,
And look, Tyler's
stop
dodging,
busting
talking
his
about
balls.
himself again. Anything else new? Didn't you say that you had some fucking interaction recently that was of note? Yelling at a cashier? Oh, that's what it was. Oh, no.
What?
I don't
Yelling
know.
at a cashier? I don't yell at people.
Let's hear
You know
about-
how
let's hear about
introverted
that.
I am? All right. So do you guys
Really,
ever...
the listeners had no idea how introverted you
Yeah.
are.
So like recently, so I'm kind of lazy when it comes to cooking food. I like to make bulk and then kind of eat it the rest of the week. And recently I thought it was a good idea to get 2 whole big boxes of spaghetti and then put it all in one pan. Not really thinking about, this is going to be a fuck ton of spaghetti. So at the end of it, like the top layer was like not done. It was still crunchy. And the bottom layer was burnt. And I'm kind of shit out of luck because
But
like
you
I
ate it,
can't
didn't
really.
you?
I
Didn't you eat it?
no. I ate some of the top, and then mostly in the middle. And then as soon as I got down to the burn stuff, I was like, yeah, it's no good. But,
Tyler, you are a mess. Maybe that's why I shouldn't ask about the type of things that are going on in your
Yeah.
life, because that is a mess. Trying to cook 2 pounds of spaghetti all at once.
hey man, you said make things interesting. That's all I got, man.
That's fair enough. I thought we were going to be talking about your adventure at the gas station trying to get your cigarettes.
Oh,
That's one that makes me uncomfortable
That's
to
the
hear.
one. Oh, okay.
Tell that real quick.
So there, I live by a Quick Trip, that has a little person working there, and the cigarettes I usually get are all the way at the top. So whenever I have to go in there, I usually avoid asking her to get those for me because I feel kind of bad for her. I don't know if I should or not because she has a step stool, but like I don't want to make her do extra work. And like,
So I'm just picturing Tyler walking in there, and like under his breath, he's like, "Please don't be working. Please don't be working."
So what you're saying is if they hired more little people at gas stations, people would probably quit smoking. It would
well,
Definitely,
it would improve.
I agree with Leo.
I feel like I'm in like the like outskirts of this because I think most people would be like, you work here. Like they feel so entitled to the fact that they're a customer that they don't care about other people's feelings. Like
You're
the real
the only one-
Karens of
You're the only one so prejudiced to treat her differently
Yeah.
that she can't reach a goddamn bag of cigarettes.
which I mean, does that make me worse? Yeah, maybe. But
Yeah, where should she be, Tyler? Just hold up somewhere,
I mean,
hidden from the public
that's
view.
fine. I'll just wait to get my cigarettes. It don't matter. I don't want to cause her. And not that I am. I doubt she cares, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's what I like to picture you just going in and arguing with this poor little person, like because you feel guilty about getting her cigarettes.
Yeah.
So you walk in there and you walk up to the counter and like she wasn't there. Like she walks out from the back and you're like, "Ooh, I just needed some gas."
Yeah. Actually, I forgot my soda. I'm gonna go get my soda.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll be right back. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get it from the car. You just leave.
It's totally one of those situations where you just go like, yeah.
I'm gonna go.
I don't know.
Didn't realize you were working today, so.
Oh man. Well, yeah, that's awkward. So another in the chronicles of Tyler's life. Well, I guess maybe I'm dodging talking about what's going on with me. You know that. Well, whatever. Mostly like since we talked to listeners, same old, same old. Got a new apartment. Had a relationship end. Another one start. You know how it goes. Recently, I've been doing this new thing though. I've been going through this procedure, and I talked to Tyler about it. I'm getting my body converted from being left to right-handed finally. I've been thinking about it for a while, and life as a left-handed person is just too difficult. Like getting graphite on my hands and always catching a ball with the same hand that I should be throwing it with. I can't play baseball. And having problems even when I play darts. I forget when I get drunk which hand to throw it with. So I've decided to get a conversion in my whole body from left to right-handed. First step, they broke my left leg. So now my right leg is going to start becoming dominant, and it's going to start taking care of all the functions that my left leg used to. And it's going really well. It's healing well. They've successfully broken it. And 4 weeks from now, I will get my left hand broken so that I'll have to start writing with my right hand. And hopefully by the end of both operations, then I will be successfully normalized into a right-handed person. I'm going to be scared straight, scared right.
Dude, you shouldn't. Oh, come on. Stick with the lefties.
No, man. We're too different.
We're
Tyler.
like 25% of the population. You like being different, don't you?
No, man.
This
I would
just
just
makes
want to
you
be
different.
normal. I'm tired of this curse of the whole world being backwards and upside down like I'm looking in a mirror. I'm done with this, dude. It's too much for me.
So I have to ask, and I'm sure the listeners are curious, how this whole, you say they broke my leg, but how did this whole breaking the leg come
I'm glad
about?
that you asked, actually. So they took me to a Boy Scouts camp where they were practicing crushing firewood. And you know when you put firewood up against a tree and you just stomp it and snap it real quick? They did that to my leg, and it was super economical because my insurance is the woodsman's insurance. So you have to do everything in the woods.
Avery is not being evasive. But
So yeah, that's what's up with me. Leo should fuck himself. Besides Leo going to fuck himself, not too much new with me. Just going through this body modification to become normal.
I feel like that'd be like if like the Boy Scouts meets like the mafia. Like, we're gonna go fuck this guy up in the woods. Come on, kids.
well, it sort of sounds like switching to a keto diet.
It's just like that.
That's it.
It's no different. It's like, you know how some people get plastic surgery? I'm getting leg surgery to be normal.
I got a good one for you guys on a talking point. This is like super random, but I was watching a TikTok the other day because I have
No life.
no life. And so like this dude was like sitting at this restaurant, and this like guy comes up and like whispers in his ear like, I just got like 30 calls about you. I'm part of the mafia or the mob or whatever. Like, you better leave right now, otherwise we're gonna have problems. And like the dude was like, oh fuck, like all right, like I'm out of here. Like I don't want nothing. I don't want no trouble. I was like, could you like, what would your reaction be if like, cause like he like whispered this in his ear. So
Yeah.
like, I feel like that's definitely like a mob move. Like you don't want to make too much attention to yourself.
What the fuck are you
Yeah.
talking about? When I don't know, man. I don't know what I would
Like,
do.
Well,
I would
it's
just get up and leave.
It's personal power. I mean, that's just like say you want that table. You really want that table. It's your favorite table. That's where you sit. You want to have a cup of coffee there, and somebody is already over there. They took your table, and you know, how do you make them leave? I've recently had a conversation with Avery about the extension of personal power. About I ordered this spray online. It's a stink spray called Liquid Ass, and you know,
I heard that was a doctor's condition, actually.
say you know, you're like most people like me, and your gas like doesn't have that extra stage to make people like on a
That
bus.
like retching odor.
Right, that odor that makes people move, like if you're in a busy bus,
Yeah.
and you want to sit somewhere, you know, or say you're waiting in line at a restaurant, and it's you know, Saturday night or whatever, and there's 20 people, they're all sitting on the benches, and I don't know, you got your date with you, and you want to like impress your date or something, and you're like, no, just give me a minute. You know, you have her wait in the car. You just go in there, and you start seeing people leave. All of a sudden, instead of having a 45-minute wait, you're down to a 5-minute wait. You know?
Dear God, Leo, with your liquid ass. Did it arrive yet? Have you tested out the liquid ass?
It hasn't arrived yet. I'm about to be questioning Amazon
Dude,
about where
no,
it's
I
at.
guarantee you it's currently in like TSA, and they're searching it.
Yeah.
They're like, it's a bomb.
I understand that deliveries have been a little slow lately, but I mean, I have gotten everything else. I've gotten these presents I ordered. I've gotten other stuff. It's been arriving normally, but like this one item that is crucial and I need it is not. So yeah, I'm about to start, you know, calling them in. In fact, I have a buddy that works for Amazon, and I might just, you know, go, you know, have him like walk me into the headquarters.
And you're gonna drop some liquid ass all over them.
Well, no, 'cause he doesn't have it yet.
When I get it,
They're gonna hand it to you, and you're immediately gonna spray it on them.
Yes, I mean, because you know, at this point I can't wait, but you know,
Well, I am.
Oh, it's like
I've had
a
a lot of
spray?
situations like that where I have liquid ass and I can't wait.
it's like, come on, Amazon, you know, where's my liquid ass?
Where's my liquid ass?
Wait, so it's just a spray, or is it something you take?
it's a spray, man. It's just
Oh, it's like, it's something you take.
I thought it was like something you, like a pill or something that like
That makes
oh no,
that makes your like,
No.
farts stink.
no discomfort.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's just a
Tyler
little.
thought it was all natural
Yeah.
fart increaser.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
that would have its purposes too, if like
Yeah.
you know, that way you wouldn't have to potentially risk getting exposed but getting caught with a
Yeah.
can. You know, it's like
Leo's gonna get pulled over by the cops. They're like, "You been doing some spray painting, boy?" And be like,
Oh my god.
and let's face it, with how tolerant, and we did some episodes about Madison, with how tolerant and accepting the culture of Madison is, you know, no one is going to question you about performing bodily functions.
"Oh my God!"
Everybody's just gonna be okay with. They'll have that, like, you know, they'll like smell it, and they'll probably have like they'll look down and like
They'll
lower
go to their happy place.
yeah,
Yeah.
lower their shoulders, turn around, walk away with their tail down.
I mean, but what do you say to that? Like, dude, you fucking like. There's no winning from that.
Exactly. What do you do?
Oh, liquid ass.
Think about it. The applications are endless, and they probably should be paying you money at this point with how much I've advertised that.
You're the only person who's ever given a plug for liquid ass.
Probably, yeah. One
Liquid
of the few.
ass coming to the stores near you.
Shit.
As seen on No Bob's Allowed.
Yeah.
Well, we got our first sponsor, Liquid Ass. Jesus Christ.
I'd take it.
I would too. All right, I say we jump into Bob of the Week. This one that happened to me actually earlier today. It's nothing too out of the... I'd say this is actually a very ordinary Bob of the Week. Something that probably happens all the time. So I, since I've been going through this operation on my leg, since it's broken for like good, cool reasons, I've had to start getting my coffee through drive-through because like I've been on these crutches for like fucking 4 or 6 weeks now. So it's hard for me to like get stuff like coffee because you don't really appreciate how hard it is to carry shit until you have your hands occupied. Anyway, so I was getting coffee today at the drive-thru place, and I was chatting with a person there, and I got a burrito, like a breakfast burrito, and a cappuccino, and it was like $13. I gave the person a 20, and I saw that they pulled out a 10 right away. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be here for a sec because I got to figure this out. Then they figured out that my change was like $7. However, they didn't put the 10 back in the drawer. So instead of handing me $7, they handed me 17. And I saw pretty much right away. Like I saw the play-by-play where it's like I might be about to get some money, and then I kind of watched it happen. And then when they handed it to me, I smiled and tipped them very nicely, passed the savings along, and smiled right in their face and tipped them and drove away. Now my question is, where's the morality in that? First off, where's the morality in that? What do you guys think? But I got to pose this question. How would you feel differently if it was just an average Joe or like even like a grimy looking dude you don't really like? Or as the situation actually was, it's a young, hot college girl. What do you do in each situation?
I have had that happen to me, and most times I have handed money back. But most times I've also contemplated just keeping it. And I think once or twice I probably did. But normally I guess I judge it by how much is the store starving for money, how much do those employees really depend on it, and I guess in this case, in your case, that store doesn't care. This is Madison.
But that being said, the employee cares because at the end of the night, the drawer is going to be off what it should be, and they're going to have to deal with that.
But the employee also has to learn. And maybe you've provided a valuable $10 lesson that. But
am I providing that $10 lesson by incessantly macking on her while she's fumbling with my change?
Right. It is a she, and in this case, it's what it happened to be a cute.
A cute young girl.
Yeah, and
because think about it, like the average Bob would be like, "Oh, look, you gave me this $10. Maybe we're friends now." Well, I don't know. What do you think about? Am I jaded by saying that?
I don't know.
So I would personally give the money back.
Like, I thought you would. You have that look. You have that trustworthy look.
Unless they're an absolute Karen, to where like I'm like I fucking hate you, I'll give it back. I don't care if the dude's grimy. Like as long as he was cool with me, like I'm not gonna do that to you. Because now you're gonna go back there, and I don't know if she'll remember or not. But you run the risk of her being
You're right.
So like. Even if like you were like the kind of guy who was like, oh, you gave me that extra money, at least like that gives you like a chance still to like now if she remembers that scenario, she might be like,
but that's the way that
that's a little shit.
That's the way that I would play it. I can just claim that I didn't notice until I drove away, and she'll be like, oh, did I give you an extra $10? And I'll be like, yeah, actually, I was just waiting to give it back to you.
I don't know. Like, because you were looking dead at her, smiling, giving that little smirk of like, I know.
No, I didn't give her the smirk.
You didn't give her
no,
the
I
smirk?
gave her the what's
okay.
up. Yeah,
okay.
no, I didn't get. No, I hid the smirk.
Okay.
I did a little private smirk while she was looking away.
But say
I don't know, risky.
Also, if you're trying to, maybe you're a little bit interested and you're trying to get yourself noticed by this cute girl, you might just walk in there next time and kind of like, make it seem that you know what's up, and just look her straight in the face, and she'll be like, oh,
yo, that's really good.
Oh, and now you'll be standing out a little bit. It's like, oh, this guy, maybe she'll just be interested enough in like, all right, yeah, let's go on one date just so I can, have you spend that money back on me.
Jesus, Leo. Damn, Leo's already walking down the aisle. I'm thinking as simple as like, I got $10 extra in my pocket.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
I don't know what's gonna happen with her, but I know I have that extra $10.
I know I got $10.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Also, this sort of reminds me of Gordon Ramsay was doing this show where he was working at some restaurant, and this woman came up to him and with an attitude, questioning about why her meal's late. And Gordon Ramsay's running he's trying to run a kitchen, and it's got all these people sweating, running around. He's gonna take no shit. This woman happens to be a very like dressed up, full on makeup. Like she thinks she's a hot lady, and she needs to have special treatment. Gordon Ramsay provides no special treatment in that case. In fact, he treats her just the same as one of his kitchen boys. So.
Well, and that's the type of Karen that I'd be like, you fucked up. That's my money now. That's my extra $10.
We'll see. That's a tough call because she was kind of nice. She was kind of nice.
See, then I wouldn't have done that. But.
Well, we'll see because that's the thing. My whole thing was like, I'll give it back.
Yeah.
I'll give it back if it comes to it. But otherwise, I'm keeping that $10.
Yeah, I mean, that's your fuck up.
Yeah, it could be $100 less, and maybe later
Yeah.
down in life, that maybe she should be paying you, another $100 just for being a tutor providing her that
Jesus
approval.
Christ, Leo is going hella. He's going like fucking warp speed Mac.
I don't know, man. It's
Goddamn. Okay. Let's stop
This
talking
is-
about ladies because Leo's getting me lost.
this is all opinion.
This is all opinion. I can just see Leo walking up to her. He's like, baby, I just want you to know this is all opinion, but. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Ukraine. If you're down to change gears, though, what do you think? You want to talk a little bit about going to Ukraine earlier this year?
Yeah.
When was that actually?
I think this is one of the main topics of this episode.
Yeah, let's
Should
get
we
into it.
Bring it in. After all this stuff that people have been listening to and wondering, like, what is this about?
What is going on?
Yeah,
I thought we
let's-
were going to talk about fucking Russia.
Yeah, let's get back to it. I visited Ukraine back in September of 2021. It's been 14 years since I've been there. Last time I was 14 years old when I went over there. I didn't know what to expect. I went to visit my family. I have, I don't know, some family members are trying to remove themselves, I guess. But yeah, let's say I have 4 family members I still care about very much that are living over there. The country has been in a state of war since 2014. I was expecting the worst, I was preparing for it. I had fast running shoes. I had clothes that were flexible enough to fight or run or whatever. I was preparing. I even carried some sort of like weapons, like say an umbrella or something like that around with me at first when I went there. And as soon as I landed, it was completely the opposite. All this news, all this American news that I've been seeing. And since I actually got back, I've been constantly checking 3 news sources. I now read Russian news in Russian. I read Ukrainian news in Russian.
Whoa.
And I read American news. And I then compare. And sometimes they will release same type of article from 3 different perspectives. So then I kind of contrast and compare, and I know that most news is propaganda. So by having those multiple sources that I review, I sort of try to arrive at some sort of a truth. But going over there, I just really didn't know what I was going to run into, and it was completely the opposite of my expectations. Everything is sort of flourishing. The Ukrainian economy is going to collapse, and the oligarchs, there's a lot of bureaucracy. The people in charge are stealing just as they have been since the 90s, since the collapse. They're stealing shamelessly, and at this point, they have stolen so much that Ukraine no longer produces most anything when it comes to house appliances, building materials, you name it. Whatever makes a city function, Ukraine does not produce that anymore. So they have to get that imported. And
Where are they importing from? Russia?
oh no. And they hate Russia. They've ruined their relationships with Russia. And not the eastern part, but we'll get into that. They're importing a lot of the used appliances from Europe mainly.
Okay, from Europe.
Appliances and used cars is what I meant to say. They're
Gotcha.
importing
Like machinery type things.
Yeah, they're importing new appliances from like China and Europe and stuff. Some probably from Russia, but they're importing appliances and technology that nobody wants. So literally everybody is dumping their trash on Ukraine in terms of cars that were, say flooded or were considered totaled. They would fix them up and sell them in Ukraine, or the Ukrainians would fix them up and sell them over there. So literally,
They're like a hand-me-down country. You mean?
they're literally a hand-me-down country.
Holy shit! Ukraine, the hand-me-down country.
Ukraine has become nothing but a giant Goodwill. they have these. I went in the store there. They have a Home Depot type store that they built, and it's exactly just like Home Depot, except you look at some things and they're built like half-assed. It's like you get a shovel and it's a half-assed shovel.
Oh, wow.
You get a
like
rake.
a Walmart shovel.
Worse. Or it's not even Walmart quality. It's not even like Chinese quality. I don't know what it is.
No.
It's just got awkward screws and parts to it. Everything's just basically made.
Why does my shovel have a bottle opener?
Yeah, it's literally made of stuff that nobody else wants. Ukraine, when they became independent in 91, I think it was. Yeah, it was the early 90s, 90, 91. They were a powerhouse of Russia. They had, I think, the third largest nuclear arsenal in the world. They had factories. They have built war machinery, which they now don't have. They're trying to gather up this army and mobilize, and they have these people that are using AKs that are 50 years old. They have outfits that are just ancient, but they used to build the latest, most modern type of whatever. They had a huge industry. They have produced for themselves. They were totally self-sufficient. They have an enormous potential for farming. They have really good soil, and a lot of it, and they had farming machinery.
Especially in the West.
Yes.
They always call Ukraine the breadbasket of Europe.
Yes, it's huge. They had farming machinery. They had all sorts of equipment for making a country work, making cities work. They didn't need anybody, and the thing is that Ukraine was never a united country. It never formed a Ukrainian identity. A lot of the east was populated. That's the region that's now the Russian region. It was populated by people from Russia, from Soviet Union in the 70s that were seeking opportunities and jobs, and they came and they built that region. Crimea area is historically Russian. And if you kind of like research some history and how the British wanted to take it over and Russia lost, and it was a big shame for them. So historically, Crimea has been a very sore spot for Russia, and it's been Russian. So I don't know, with this whole like taking back thing, like, yeah, you can look at it politically however you want. And sure, Russia did some things under the table that they didn't tell anybody to take it back. But if you see, if you look at the population there, nobody's rebelling, nobody's protesting, nobody's rioting. They give people a choice. When they took it over, they said, hey, if you want to leave, you can leave. And the people that wanted to leave, they left.
And even when I was hanging around like Eastern European people and like Russian people, I would see like they show me videos of like fucking helicopters landing in Crimea and being greeted happily by people.
Very much. And of course, the Western European Union and America, and
we don't get that media.
They suppressed it.
Yeah, we never saw that.
No,
they don't get those videos.
No.
Like of all the people with their new Russian passports, just so excited about that, we don't see those videos.
And what did Ukraine do when Crimea joined Russia? They turned off their water. They turned off water to millions of people. So what did Russia do? They built a bridge. I don't know where it's from, where it starts out from, but they built this, and I should have done the research. It's quite a long bridge that they connected to Crimea that was built for the purpose of delivering water.
Wow. Yeah, so they are definitely feuding pretty hard. Can we take a second to just talk about your personal experience going to visit there?
Yeah.
Just what it was like being back there again. Like just recently, just this summer.
Yeah, so I get in there and I'm expecting the worst, and none of that happens. In fact, I landed in Odessa, and Odessa has, wow, they got a lot more cars. Every city got a lot more cars. It's all these all these used, secondhand kind of garbage cars, but the city's flourishing. People mostly seem happy. There's no area that my mom and I, we landed in like nice outfits, and we just took a public transportation. We were in a stuffy bus, a bunch of people looking at us like, "Oh, well, you're looking good. Where are you from?"
I bet there was a lot of that, of people looking at you like, "Oh, you're not from here."
Yeah. When we first landed, it definitely stood out, but there wasn't an area that we really felt unsafe, or like anything that was noticeable that there was war going on or any sort of conflict. We took a bus to Nikolaev, and Nikolaev has built a lot of new buildings. There's new construction. They've upgraded the buildings that they have. Things are moving forward. Roads are looking good.
And Nikolaev's a city in the south. We've talked about this before on the show. That it's like on the south, kind of almost on the Black Sea.
Yes, it's like it's north east.
Odessa?
Northeast of Crimea, sort of, just in that little pocket. It's about a
northwest, right?
east, I think, slightly northeast, but not far.
Huh. Okay.
It's like
yeah, I don't know that much about the geography.
It's like an 8-hour drive.
Yeah, gotcha.
And Nikolaev has gotten a lot more cars too. I mean, there are cars everywhere now, and people are going overseas. They're making money. They're coming back. They're opening businesses. It's very normal, and I felt very safe there everywhere. A lot safer than Madison even. It was a completely just, things have really improved. The stray animals, when I was growing up there in the 90s, there were a bunch of stray animals. There were rats everywhere. There were cockroaches in the buildings, cats and stuff. So things have majorly improved. The cats are now adopted as they're protected. They're considered good for the city because they help to maintain the basements of these large Soviet blocks, 5-story or 9-story Soviet blocks. So there has to be a hole where the cats can get in the wintertime in all of the buildings, so they can stay warm in the basement heating system, and that way it's hygienic. I mean, look at New York. New York's got a huge rat problem. If you had some stray cats taking care of things, and people take care of the cats, they feed them leftovers that they have. The cats kind of like form their little gangs. There's gangs of cats on different blocks, and cats don't wander from their block. They kind of just stay there. It's funny. The dogs have been neutered. The population of dogs has been reduced majorly, and I've been bitten by a stray dog twice when I was 6.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
a
was
scar on your face,
that was that was so nice to see. Is I no longer had to worry about. That was like one of my biggest worries going back there is the stray dogs.
Traumatized still.
Yeah, it's still a little bit. It's not like your cute puppy's here. It's like, oh hey buddy, and they all wave their tails and run up.
I
to you.
remember seeing stray dogs in Greece. They're hardcore. They run the streets. We are humans. We don't. They have control of a lot of places.
Yeah, and they get in packs, and it can be scary. But it seems that they've taken care of that issue. Couple of funny things a couple of stories.
Yeah, there were a couple of stories I wanted you to tell. Specifically, could you tell me? I remember when you first got back, and you told me the story of you wanting to go out for a drink and finding an American bar. Can you talk about just the vibe of the American bar? Yes,
this is a pool they built. I'm thinking in 2000 is when they built this modern. It's a gym facility. It's just if you're from Madison, it's just like Princeton Club, but It was very a brand new thing in 2000 for Ukraine to have a facility like a Princeton club that will have a pool and a gym.
Sauna,
And,
probably.
Yeah, sauna.
Yeah.
That type of facility. And Vadale is the name of it. I actually was swimming there when I was on a swim team for a few years. So it was very reminiscent going back to it. And there was a bar that they put in. They called it Buffalo. And it's like, I don't know, it's, Texas Steakhouse, or, it's like one of those type of...
It's like a mix between Buffalo Wild Wings and Longhorn Steakhouse.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those places with a big, thick bar, basically, and some like thick wooded stools and kind of a darker textured atmosphere.
American,
very,
yeah.
very American. Yeah, it's got these bright red letters that says Buffalo and a little picture of a buffalo, even though there is no buffalo in Ukraine.
Did it have American imported beers and all that, or was it mostly?
Not American. But
Okay.
it had Heineken.
Oh, okay.
But everyone's got.
Yeah, that's all
In
you
Ukraine,
need.
that's as close to America as you get.
It had very few liquors, but it had Southern Comfort. They had Jack Daniels. They had Buffalo Trace.
No way they had Buffalo Trace.
Yeah,
That's
they
a
had
premium
Buffalo
liquor.
Trace, and
Damn.
yeah, they had like 10 different imported liquors
Okay.
that I got to sample and enjoy. Funniest thing is, I got to be like a regular there. I was only visiting for a couple of weeks, but I was in there, for probably 5 or 6 times. You walk in there, you get up to the bar, you sit in the chair, and the bar is up to your shoulders. So that was my first impression. Is like they tried, but they didn't get the chair height right. But if the chairs were higher, they would be kind of hard to climb.
Wait, so you're resting your elbows on the bar?
Yeah, it's literally up to your shoulders.
Like your chin is on the bar.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, exactly. It's like right below your neck. And as soon as I walk in there, I'm being comical, and I just like put my hands above the bar and hold them. I'm like, and I keep lowering them and putting them up, and I'm like, hello, okay. But very like American style bar. Kind of funny. I was the only person there most nights. People can't really afford it. I was giving people $2 tips, and they were treating me like a king. So, definitely done a good bit of drinking, but one of the better drinking experience I had is my cousin has got himself a girlfriend, some kids now, and her grandma that passed away now, but she was a woman in her 70s, and I got to drink some vodka with a Russian grandma and some tea, and I bought her chocolates and stuff, and just kind of hung out. It's very like a family connecting experience. So it was all very, very warm, and there was never anything I was concerned about. Their economy though was in the hole. So yeah.
Well, I remember the way you told me that story when you first got back was like, it was the only night that you really partied, like drank vodka. And I mean, because your cousin is a baby, or like his girlfriend is a baby. They never got to party because they were watching the baby. And you said the one night that you were able to party with them, you also partied with the grandma. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And you're like, yeah, who do you think's watching the baby? And I'm like, oh, damn, that's some old school, like, traditional shit.
Yep. The grandma in the other room is watching TV, watching the baby.
Yep. And also kind of keeping you guys in line, too.
Yep.
Like, she's running shit, and you're just getting to have a great time.
I was brought in by my cousin at like 2:00, and I was just leaning on him and his girl. They're dragging me inside because we went out for cigarettes. Well, when we went out for cigarettes, there was a guy at a store. You can buy alcohol. It was a 24-hour store. It was like a small type grocery chain.
Yeah.
And you can buy alcohol at any time. And there was a guy that crawled up the stairs and crawled in there. And then he pointed at what he wanted. And the salesman just handed him the bottles of liquor. And then this guy paid him on the step and was crawling out.
Oh, my God.
and of course, I was lumbering.
Leo seeing his future if he would have lived in Ukraine.
I remember we went into the store and I looked at my cousin's girl and I just started laughing, and then she started laughing, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. And so yeah, they dragged me up the stairs, walked me. As soon as they walked me through, Grandma looks at me and she's like, "Ложи его," and she's like, "Lay him down."
He done. Game over.
And I'm like, "Yeah, в порядке, I'm okay." But it's definitely in. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make is it was not this whole like war-torn country. Oh, look at how serious everything is on the news.
It's daily life.
Yeah, and I would even say if you we'll see how this whole situation turns out. I don't think anything's gonna come of the tensions, supposed tensions between Russia and Ukraine. And the fact that looking at the pictures that they're taking of these supposed Ukrainian army soldiers, and it's very like Hollywoodized,
Yeah.
very like Brad Pitt like they have these guys that they're taking pictures on with like the thick cheekbones, and they have their really old AKs, and they're in the uniform that's just faded and is very old. And it's probably been worn by a soldier in, World War II.
That they got from somebody at a secondhand shop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because Ukraine's the Goodwill of Europe.
Right. So they're making it look like this epic thing, but if if you think like if it'd be a very serious situation, there were actually bullets flying at. The reporter wouldn't be that close to be able to take such a good photo or make a video, and they're showing off these ancient like war machinery. So it really is like a big joke. It's posturing, I think, is what it is mostly.
Yeah.
And it's not anything that I've been taking seriously since it started. Yeah, some people died. There was definitely a conflict there, and Russia has their interests. Absolutely. Ultimately, though, Ukraine has had such an enormous opportunity since they became independent to be one of the most powerful countries in the world. I'll even say they had the chance to be completely self-sufficient and sustainable. But there's just so much bad history and old hatreds between various groups, I guess you'd say. So right now you have a lot of radical groups from the Western. They're building this strong hatred against Russians. But the time, which historically Russia has caused a lot of grief to the various populations of Ukraine. They have starved them, and they have done terrible things to them, and certainly these people's grandparents have experienced that. But the younger generation no longer has to pursue that old fight. The world is different. The world has changed. The younger generation needs to worry about making money, getting a place to live, getting established, travel, opening up opportunities. They don't need to be so focused on these whole old hatreds of the past. And that's a big thing about the American culture too, is there are a lot of groups in America that will certainly probably never let go of this hatred, probably, I don't know, for another however many generations it takes. So yeah, it's so hard to accept the fact that Ukraine could have really made a great country out of itself, but instead we're dealing with these petty conflicts that are caused by the people in charge that have financial gain in that. And unfortunately, as you know, I am ethnically, well, I'm mixed. I'm all kinds of mixed. But on my birth certificate, it says that I'm Russian, and my mom has moved from Russia to Ukraine, and I think it was in the 80s, when the boom was happening. So I am sort of the opinion that Ukrainians had it coming, and now they're trying to wake the beast that is Russia. And Russia is now restored itself to its not former might, but it's pretty mighty at the moment. They're like a mouse that's playing with a lion, and I want to see all these people that have these strong opinions about hating Russians. I just want to see it blow up in their face and sort of be like, haha, I told you so, don't mess with Russia. Russia actually has advanced military and army. They will destroy you. They will annihilate you. But it's not their fault. The population that's going to suffer are going to be poor people. They're going to be people that are broke. There's going to be a lot of mothers that are going to lose sons.
Yeah. See, that's what I want to get into.
The people that are actually responsible for the whole thing are not going to suffer.
Exactly.
They're miles away from the front line. They are not going to answer for anything. They're not going to answer for their crimes.
Yeah, so where is the war really at here? Like, that's what I want to get into. So I think now's a good time for us to take, like, just a couple-minute break, and we should jump back into this and dig in. Because, Leo, I got some things that I want to, like, get your opinion on. Because I've been following this more now that you've talked about it a little bit, and now realizing you were just in Ukraine, and that you got to see it front and center what's going on in the country. I have a couple of things that I'd like to know, and maybe the listeners would gain something from by hearing your perspective, your unique perspective, if I may say. So we'll be back in just a second here. I know Bob's loud. See you soon. Leo's not finished. What do you got?
I was just gonna say, that sounds great. Just want to conclude with, I mostly covered most of what I wanted to talk about. So.
Awesome. Well, we're not done yet. I want to make sure I really dig into a couple of things that I want to talk about Ukraine.
Let's go for an interview. Yeah.
Sounds good to me, dude. I got it for you. All right. No Bob's loud.